What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and if you're a fan of Notepad++ on Windows, let me show you guys the alternative for Linux called NotepadQQ. So let's get to it. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and like I said, I wanted to show you guys NotepadQQ, and this is a Linux clone of Notepad++. So if you've used Notepad++, then this is an awesome alternative for the Linux operating system, and I wanted to go through and show you guys how to get it installed. It's very simple. It's already included in the repositories. At least there's a snap package for it. Otherwise you'll have to install the PPA, but I'm going to show you guys on Ubuntu and get started with using NotepadQQ on Linux. So first, let's hop over to the website right fast for NotepadQQ so you guys can check it out with me and we can cover what it's all about. And as you can see, NotepadQQ.com is the link, and of course I'll have the link down in the description of the video. But like I said, it's basically a Notepad++ clone for Linux. But let's read a little bit about it. It says NotepadQQ is designed by developers for developers. With its more than 100 supported languages, it is ideal text editor for daily tasks. So like I said, this is an awesome text editor that has a whole bunch of tools to where it takes like that Notepad application that you see on Windows and takes it up to a whole nother level with all the options that are included with it. It recognizes different languages and all that stuff. So, and I've been using it for a very long time because most of the jobs that I've worked has always been a Windows environment. So Notepad++ has been that alternative for me for that Notepad application that typically comes with the Windows operating system. But this is that Linux version, like I said. But let's scroll down a little more. It just shows a little bit more, and I recommend you guys checking out the link down in the description of the video. This will give you a little bit more information about it. But as you can see, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it, which is super cool. And that's a quick demonstration of how it actually works, just showing you guys a little bit more. But let's go down and hop over to my desktop environment so we can get this thing installed. Also, before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ as the official supporter of Rocky Linux, which I think is one of the best replacements for your CentOS server. If you haven't been paying attention, Red Hat announced in 2021 it will be going away with CentOS as the downstream clone for Red Hat, and Rocky Linux is here to pick up the pieces. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Alright, cool. So we are at Ubuntu 20.04, and let's just go down and open up the Software Center. And we can find Notepad++ by typing in the search bar Notepad, and we'll just press enter there, and it'll search the repositories for us and find it. So there it is right there. So NotepadQQ. So you can install it this way, or you can add the PPA. If you look on their website, there is the instructions on how to get the PPA added and install it that way. But I'll just go down and install it here. It's very simple, you know what I'm saying. And you can pretty much do this on any Debian based Linux distribution or desktop Linux. So let's just type in our sudo password and get this thing installed, and I'll be back when it actually finishes installing, and we'll open it up and start playing around with it. Okay, cool. So the installation is complete. It took a little while for me, not sure why, but we can close the Software Center and just go down and find our NotepadQQ application under our software. So let's just go down and open it up. Just wanted to show you guys the basics. Not really, I don't want to go too deep into it, but this is basically the basics. And let's say you want to, I don't know, type a HTML file, or you're building a website or something, which, you know, is not that most people use content management systems or something to that effect, but you still want to understand how to write HTML. So we can just type something in right fast, just show you guys how it actually works. Let's do bang, doc, type, and then HTML, and let's close that out, press enter. And so let's go down and type some HTML code. Let's open up some brackets right there, and let's type HTML. And one thing about NotepadQQ, and I'm sure it's the same way in Notepad++, but in order for the syntax recognition, you have to save the file first in order for it to start showing you the syntax, highlights with the different colors and everything. So I'm gonna just type the code out and I'm gonna save it. I'm not gonna make too big of a file, but let's just type body there, and let's open up H1. So, and close that, and then let's just type, I don't know, heading or something like that. Let's close this thing out. Boom, and then the / and then H1, and then close that out. And then let's also put a body in there, or some text, some more text. So let's just open that up. Let's open up a p tag, and then let's see body of text, and let's close out that p tag, / p, close that out. Boom, good to go. And then let's go down and close our body out, and then the / and body, and close that out. And then let's close the HTML out. So then HTML, and close that out. Boom. So we're good to go. This is a simple HTML text or HTML file, and I'm gonna go down and save it in my document. So let's go save as, and let's save it in our documents folder, and I want to save it as a HTML file. So let's type test, and then we could change the extension to HTML. Boom, hit save. Boom, and as you can see, it activated the text highlighting once we save the file. That's basically how you get it to start recognizing the file types or the syntax that's within the file based on what type of code you're writing. Now let me show you guys a few things actually within the actual application, like some of the options or whatever. But let's just go to the file. Basic navigation within file. You can create a new document, open folder, reload from disk, save as a copy, save all. So if you have multiple documents open, you can save them all. Close all but current document. That's something I've used in the past. The current document that I have open, it'll close everything except that one. Load a new session, save session, print recent files. You can go through and look at your recent files, and then exit. And then under edit, you have your typical edit. So undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, delete, select, begin, end, select, copy to clipboard, convert case. So you can go through and convert the case in certain instances throughout the actual file. So whatever you have highlighted, you can look for duplicates, within the current line, delete current line, move line up, move line down, and then also end line, end of line, and that's based on the format. Blank operations, so you could trim trailing spaces. It has a lot of detailed options in here, but removing the end of line, tab to space, space to tab, it's a lot in here, man. And the indentation, so you can play around with that as well. You got your search, and it's awesome, bro. It's got the advanced search, find next, find previous, so find and replace. So that's dope. That's an awesome feature of it. So it's basically a search and replace. So if you want to change, let's say HTML to HTML whatever, man, or you want to find something in the text that's repeated 100 times, you can find, replace it with some other text. So super dope. View. Now you can go in here and play around with the view. They have options like show symbols, you know, show tabs, show spaces. So you can add that in there if you want to see that while you're actually writing. And then you can also wrap text. You can show where the symbol of wrap text. Zoom in, zoom out, you know, word wrap, math rendering, toggle to format tab, and full screen. Encoding, which is super cool. This is awesome right here that they have the encoding in here. Interpret as UTF-8. So all your different versions, you can convert it, you know what I'm saying, all the good stuff on your encoding. Now under language, you can go through here, play around with your languages. They got a whole bunch of languages in here. One of the ones I used to use was ASP.NET. You know, I played around with that. Django, but it has, man, any you know language you could think of is in here. PHP, SQL, PowerShell, you know, all that stuff is in here. You know what I'm saying? So and then under settings, you can go into the preferences. I'll show you a little bit of that, but you can change up your appearance. And one thing I like is the dark mode. So let's try this one right fast. Yeah, I like that one. That's good. But override font family. So that's just some, you know, other options that you could do right there. But one thing I forgot to show you guys was under general, you know, collect and transmit anonymous statistics. You can turn that off. That's kind of like a privacy thing. It's turned off by default, you know what I'm saying, but just verify it's turned off if you want it off. Localization, so that's our language. Exit NotepadQQ when closing the last tab. So you have that option as well. And these are the defaults right here. It says warn when the indentation doesn't match the settings. Remember, open tabs when closing NotepadQQ. Backup open documents every 15 seconds. So that's dope that it actually backs it up. And you can change that if you need to. And I know I'm going through things that you probably know if you use Notepad++, you know, heavily. Then all these features are, you know, in Notepad++, and they're, you know, available for NotepadQQ as well. Search, you know, shortcuts, and let's not go through all of this, but you do have extensions. I wanted to throw that out there too, just so you guys can see it. But let's hit cancel. And if you guys remember, we did change the theme, so let's go down and save it and close NotepadQQ and then open it back up right fast. And then we're gonna open up that actual file. Actually, let's go into our file explorer and go to our documents and open up that HTML file again. And let's just right click on it and hit open with other application, NotepadQQ. And we should have that black thing when it opens up, and it looks like it didn't accept it. So hold on. Okay, and agree. I'm gonna hit no right there. And let's go back into our preferences right fast. I wonder why I didn't accept my appearance. Maybe I didn't change. Oh, I didn't change it fully. I didn't hit apply. So we can hit OK. Good to go. Boom. So now we got our dark theme. And to me, that's a little bit easier on the eyes. It might not be too good for if you're, you know, coding something like very long. You might want to try something else. Like we can go, let's try Dracula. That looks a little better because it has those different colors in there, you know what I'm saying, and make it look a whole lot better. And it's cool, it has italic text. So you know what I'm saying, you can go through here and play around with it, whatever is easier on the eyes for you, you know what I'm saying, go through and select it. But you have a whole bunch of options when it comes to that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys with NotepadQQ. I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of what the application is all about. So make sure you guys check it out. You know what I'm saying? If you switched over to the Linux operating system and you're wondering how you can install Notepad++, well, this is that alternative for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And of course, keep it techie.